Searching podcasts for Dave, and one more time.
This past weekend was the Grand Isle Tarpon Rodeo. Besides the sweet science of boxing, few athletic endeavors test a man's mental and physical limits like fishing rodeo. And for the life of me, I don't know how they get saddles on those tarpons or throw a lasso on a cobia. But I know it involves beer. Lots of it. I prefer staying sober and enjoying the wisdom of Dave and Juan.
And 3.
Number 2.
And his name is Juan.
Woohoo! Yes, it is.
Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba, America, how you doing? We're back, and you are.
You're welcome.
100% welcome. Hi, everybody. How are you? I'm Dave.
I'm Juan.
This right here is Dave and Juan.
More time.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. If we sound, or at least half of this team sounds a little more relaxed
That's right.
on this podcast, I believe, which is the 260th podcast.
Man.
But it is the first podcast of a new era. What era is that? You may ask.
That's right.
And if you don't, we're going to tell you anyway.
It's Juan's retirement era.
Juan Simonox has officially declared himself.
Called it quits.
Not on this podcast.
Not on this. No.
But he, after becoming a hero to me at an age, we always kid about you're a few years older than me, but at an age that's still a little bit older than even as my age right now.
Well, it's always going to be a little bit older than yours. That's how it
I'm
works.
going back though. You changed jobs. You went from right.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
You began an entirely new career in an entirely new industry, and by all and up until those harassment files were done.
Well, young people today take things a lot harder than we did.
I'm joking about that. But then Juan did that, I think, just for the fact to prove he could do it.
Yeah.
And
it's the I'm not quite 65. But things just, I don't know. My wife and I have been talking about it as to when the right time would be in running numbers and everything. And as luck would have it for me, if you know anything about retirement and Medicare, most people get a supplemental insurance policy. And if I get on her health care for a year, or if I were on her health plan for a year, then I would qualify to be on a supplemental policy through her, which is a whole lot better than what I could get on my own. A whole lot more.
If any of you out there are confused, don't worry. So am I. I at the end of the last podcast, which, and I know that some of you listen all the way through, which is, and thank you for that, because here's a hint. We saved the good stuff for the end.
That's right.
Those of you that are bailing on the podcast, 20, 30, 45, 55 minutes in, you're missing the gems at the end. But Juan mentioned in closing last week that he was retiring. And I tried to explain to my wife why it made sense and why you were doing it. I apparently was not doing a very good job of it. Because as we drove to Louisiana or back from Louisiana, and I'm trying to, and she's saying, well, no, that doesn't. And then after a while, I had to say, okay, boo, I think they know what they're doing. Right. Because she was like, I don't think that's right. And I'm like, okay, it's probably me that's not right. Right. I am explaining something wrong.
Yeah. So my wife, for those of you who are fairly new to this, my wife is a teacher. So she's worked for the school system for a long time, and at least in Louisiana, they have a very good retirement plan, including supplemental insurance. Supplemental insurance is basically a secondary policy you get to cover the, probably most of the stuff that you would want that Medicare, which is, retired people's health insurance, won't cover. Okay. And by being on her policy for 12 months,
gotcha,
then I am able to get it through there.
Sounds like a dumb rule, Juan. Sounds like a dumb.
But it worked for me.
Okay, exactly.
So, and she is retiring. She will retire from the school system in August of next year.
Woohoo!
So she's got 12 months left. So it made more sense for me to pull the trigger now than to wait 4 months.
And it's about time you get to ride the gravy train.
That's what I'm saying.
You've been pulling that freaking wagon for how long?
Yeah, forever.
I know. And
you know,
I
she
just
said last week, she said, well, you know, I'm not once, you know, you're tired. I'm not cleaning the house anymore.
Oh, there's going to be a dirty house.
And I said, well, how's that different than anything now?
Oh, boom, boom.
Yeah. So you need to give me the app for that vacuum.
The app for the vacuum. I think
that's why it made sense to do it now.
And it's always it's kind of funny. Those of you that are not watching the video, and I'll just apropos to Juan officially becoming retired, is the shirt you're wearing.
That's
today.
right. I'm wearing a Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic Therapy Services t-shirt because this past week I completed, and I guess this is, you know, graduation gift from the clinic. I completed my physical therapy. That's right, man. So it's like double old man stuff.
Oh man! So there you go. He's getting ready to enter retirement with a nice graduation shirt from the occupation.
Right, dude. And this is the thing, because one of the things that apparently I'm going to be responsible for is laundry. And I said, well, when our daughter goes back to school, that cuts laundry by 90%. Yeah. Then I basically wear the same thing for 5 days in a row. So other than underwear, I got nothing to do with myself.
I more than carry my own weight with laundry. I will wash and I will dry. I do not fold or pick up, and that brings up a problem sometimes. And we get into.
I'm better at folding than I am at hanging, and I'm terrible at picking up either.
Okay, yeah. So my solution. And when I say I should throw my wife in here with this, our solution, because she didn't stop me and she benefits from this. I just buy more clothes baskets. So, correct, right? So, our house, we probably have 6, 7, 8 clothes baskets. They fill the laundry room, right? Or as we called it down the bayou growing up, the utility room.
Yeah, I still call it the utility room.
You know, when you stop and think about it, I don't think I got any utilities in that room.
Right. I don't know how that ever became.
But that's why we called it the utility room. But so I'm good at, like, in our bathroom or where the clothes can collect. I look at it and there's a pile there and it gets to a certain size and I'm like, I will take it. I'll bring it in. I'll wash it. And since I'm walking out that back door half the time, it's right there. I'll transfer it into the dryer. So, and I think I'm pulling my weight. So the difference is, so the clothes will pile up. I will get, my wife will get a bit annoyed with the mountain of clean clothes that begins to pile up. But my attitude is, you want a mountain of clean clothes or dirty clothes?
Right.
Because the mountain forms regardless of whether or not, right? So, there you go.
Now, my wife used to take stuff. She'd take clothes out the dryer, I'm sorry, and throw it on the table, on the dining room table, and leave it there.
Oh, that's yeah.
Which my thing was, all right, you're not doing another load in the dryer. If you don't want to do it now, just leave it in the dryer. It's a great storage space.
But now that you are officially retired, those are not going to be a concern. You'll be on.
Right, I'll be on that every day.
If you find yourself getting bored enough to do laundry,
we've long been on what I call the LIFO system, an accounting term of laundry. Stuff I wore last week, still dirty. Stuff I wore yesterday, probably clean.
Last in, first out. My son, who lives in Thibodaux, the younger, who lives in Thibodaux, lives in the same house with my mom and some of his relatives. I guess it's a blessing and a curse. The young man, he's not a fan of doing laundry, and that's not.
Nobody is.
Nobody is, right? He's a fan of having clean clothes, which is a little bit of a discrepancy.
Right, that's a struggle. You got to pick one lane.
Okay, so but his answer over time, and I guess we've participated in it, is he just has a lot of clothes. He just buys. The dude can literally, and when I say this, I'm not making it up. He can literally wear something different every day for a month. And I'm not talking about the dress clothes, because now he's up to probably about 3 weeks of work clothes that he could wear.
Yeah, that's true.
But then, the shorts, the shirts, whatever the case may be. And he is sometimes prone to want to do that. He has also come from, the training we have, and has too many laundry baskets. So he will have, we'll visit every now and then, Juan, and we're going to try, my wife and I are going to try to visit. We decided we got to start. We want to try to get down to Louisiana once a month. And I know that doesn't sound like a lot to some people, but for us, it's hard. But we'll pop in, and I'll just, do the quick math in my head, like, bruh, have you done laundry in the last 3 weeks? Maybe. And, he'll typically go, yeah, which is not true. But again, good problem to have, right? And then you end up sounding like the old man that I am when I'm standing there going, okay, bro, your bathroom is right here. You got a hamper full of clothes that you took off. They're dirty. The washing machine, which you don't have to pay for, right? Doesn't take quarters.
Yeah, it's not like you got to round up some quarters.
It's not like back in the day we got to grab a basket and go to a laundromat, or even walk down in the apartment complex. You're literally 10 steps away from an industrial washing machine, right? A commercial washing machine, and
right. You're not washing by hand.
You don't have to go down to the bayou and beat them on a rock. What I'm saying, right? And what you gonna? There you go. Old man yelling at the clouds, but
yeah, that's about it. But you can get now. They've got where you could wash and dry in a single machine.
That's just why would you trust that?
Yeah, because here's the whole deal. One part goes bad, they're both bad.
You ought to look. Listen, it's funny before you said that. My next line was going to be, one more thing that can break, bro. One more thing. Look, we're at a point now, and this must exist because you've done it before. I'm not a Facebook. I'm on Facebook, but I don't buy stuff. I don't use the Facebook. I don't sell or buy anything online. Really don't. I have stuff. I've had stuff that people tell me, "Oh, you can sell." You know what my selling anything is? Once a month here in Sugarland where I live is what I call Big Trash Day, but it's like it's the day you can put out the big stuff and they'll take it away. Dude, I've left TVs out there. I've left. Hey, it's next Sunday into Monday, y'all. If anybody needs a box spring, a bed frame, a 12 by 10 rug, dude, it's all going to be on the curb. So. Heads up, neighbors, and
a lot of times people will pick it up.
Oh, 100%. Half the time I put stuff out there because on Sunday people start driving around.
Yeah,
it's sort of like
the day before Big Trash Day.
It's the unofficial free. It's the unofficial free garage sale. So that's what's because my car has not slept in the garage in dang near a month now because we had the carpeting change.
On Big Trash Day.
Okay, right, and we just missed it, and then we had
that's right. You pulled stuff out.
We had stuff pulled up, then we had the cruise. The cruise was Big Trash Day, and then so anyway, that's coming around again. And then tomorrow, feel for me, Juan. Tomorrow we have the painting crews that show up here at the house, and the entire top floor of our house, the interior, is being painted, and that's my office, that's the bedrooms, the game room, that's everything up here. So everything has to come off the walls. All right. So as soon as we're done with this podcast, guess what I got to start doing?
Now you're going to leave the nails there so you can put it back in the same spot?
I don't know. My wife and I literally had this conversation a little while ago, and I'm like, wow, because no, I expect the guys coming in, are some professional. It's not, I didn't hire a couple of jacklegs. It's some, I expect them to pull the nail. I expect them to prep the walls. Yeah. So I don't care.
Now, do you know, are they spraying it or are they going to paint like rollers and brush?
Here's what's going to be interesting. Okay. We had.
I don't know how they paint it.
No, I'm pretty sure it's rollers and paint brushes. I'm pretty sure. Now the ceiling may be different, but here's what I do know: the carpets. Every inch of this upstairs has a new carpet about a month ago. That's going to be interesting. Like,
Yeah, you maybe should have done that in reverse order.
I don't know that there's a good way to do it. Everybody says that, man. Um, but I don't know. Hey, whatever. These guys get hired to pay. These guys get
Yeah, they're
hired
not
to.
gonna drop anything.
Well, we'll see.
They'll cover your floor.
And here's the thing too. I did not know this one. I did not know this. But my wife did. She did a bunch of research and even talked to a few folks who have had stuff done. So we're having everything up here painted the same color, right? Every room is going to be, and then eventually when they're done with this, probably going to hit pause and then doing the downstairs. So okay. So what color do you think is the color now that everybody's painting everything? And I don't even think I'm a fan of it, but we're doing it.
I don't know what.
No, seriously, just take it. What color?
I
Walls.
think there's some kind of silvery blue color.
Okay, I would go with that. Nope.
What? Not taupe or
Nope.
beige?
Nope. White.
Yeah, you're right. I've seen that.
White. That's it. White. What color is the ceiling? White.
White.
What color the wall is going to be? White.
White.
I don't know that I'm not going to be. I might pay them extra to just paint a black line between the roof and the. And I'm sure it's going to. And then here's the funny thing. I mean, besides, if it's funny, so
White, I guess, makes it look clean, makes it bright, makes it look bigger.
apparently every house you go to, and you talk to the painters, painters the same way. They said that's all they're doing. All the new construction out there, all the remodels are being done. Everybody's.
I know they're doing a lot of exteriors in white.
Yeah, I don't know that I'm a fan of that as much, but maybe I don't. My attitude about that. It just shows dirt.
Well, you see a lot of them that don't do it right, or they don't do the house right, and basically the bottom 8 inches of the white brick wall is splashed mud.
100%. Yeah, so this is going to happen. So, but here's what's funny. My wife comes back after we decide, and when I say we, she, then she asks me, and then I try to do. We've had this conversation before, you and I, trying to explain to somebody when I don't care, I don't have a right. So I'm trying to figure out, do you want me to fake enthusiasm on something? I don't care. Tell me what you want me to be enthusiastic about. I'll do it because I honestly don't care what we paint the walls. But okay, now it says white. All right, it's got to be. Dude, there must be 15 different whites.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I can't see them. I mean, I'm like, she literally has these swatches. Right now in the game room, we've got 4 different squares on the game room of different whites. I'm like,
But see, because we did that, not with white, but I did that one time because, again, how the color looks in the store has zero bearing on how it's going to look in your house because it depends on the lighting in your house. But you take the material that you can put the swatch on and you bring in the house, and that's not sheetrock or whatever your walls are made of.
Right.
Years ago, and you don't throw good things away. I had a piece of like 3x3 sheetrock in my shed, and every time we think about painting, I'd go paint the sheetrock, and then I'd go stick it up on the wall in the house. All right, that's what it's gonna look like.
You like your dad with the good piece of wood with the
That's right,
with the holiday plywood for the
wasn't throwing away that sheetrock.
There you go. Comes in handy. But so we'll see. They said they're supposed to be here about a week, which is man, I don't know. I'm just realizing. So my office basically shuts down. I'll have to move my stuff somewhere. I guess I'll be operating out of the dining room this next week. But and we'll see. When we come back, it may be a lot. The sound qualities of the podcast, y'all, I might have more of an echo in the future because I don't know that I'm putting everything back on the walls. I mean, my walls in here are covered with just 20 years of plaques and all the numerous awards I've won.
Well, that's that. So.
But once they're down, I might be like, don't know that I need this anymore. But we'll see.
So flipping back to home stuff. So I don't know. One day during the week, I came home and my daughter said the microwave had like a popping sound in it. And I instantly thought of you. I said, "Oh, dang it!" I remember when Dave had to change his microwave, and he talked about the problem replacing a built-in. But so I turned it on when I got home, and it did like a little sizzle sound and a pop. Turned it off. So I reached out to my friend ChatGPT,
Oh, okay. I think you said Chad. Chat. Go ahead.
and asked it stuff. And this is the part it told me. It's called the Wave Guide cover. And if you're
Well, look
listening
at
and
you.
not watching, it's pretty much just like a little piece, almost cardboard, which I didn't even know was in the microwave. But I guess it's the thing that's all the stuff, all the waves bounce over or bounce off of. Uh, but my favorite part of it, and here I gotta call up Chat GPT because I uploaded photos and everything and got it to tell me where to order it. At the end of the message from Chat GPT, it says, "I also wanted to compliment you on the photos. The progression from the original symptom to the close-ups of both sides of the cover and the waveguide opening made it much easier to narrow this down than it usually is over chat. Great job."
Wow.
So there you go.
One thing you're gonna realize, well, you do realize, and that's chat. Chat is the worst,
Oh,
but
it's a total suck up.
it is. It's total manipulative. It is the most manipulative, if I could say the word manipulative. Yeah, it plays to your ego, man. You got to watch it. Sometimes I use it to help edit stuff. And I've said this before, like, so I've been writing for 30 something years, and stuff I write, I kind of, it's not that I can do it in my sleep, but I kind of know what I'm
Right.
doing. I know the formula. But the more and more the chat and artificial intelligence has kicked in, the more it sort of forces me to even get more first person, even more personal story, even more, because everything else is just, it's slop, it's garbage. Everybody out there right now is putting out the chat nonsense, and I don't know if we've jumped the shark with that yet or not. We're getting close. I mean, I'm so turned off by, like, I got to be on LinkedIn just because I don't want to be
Yeah.
on LinkedIn, but that's business right now, and a lot of it's like the Facebook for business, I guess, and sometimes
Yeah.
it's too much Facebook. It's like, but yeah, there's just so much garbage. Well, look, I mean, I'm going to jump around on this, but it's something, a note I actually took because I read this during the week, that right now, online, right, the internet, you may have heard of it. It's pretty big. Right now, for the first time, and it happened recently, bots, like non-human bots, typically now driven by AI or whatever, but basically software programs out there that just run stuff, produce stuff. They're just moving things around, right? The bot traffic has now surpassed human traffic.
Yeah.
Right. So when you go online now, the stuff that's out there, the traffic happening on the internet, more of it is being produced and downloaded and uploaded and all that stuff from non-human, just going. And they say it's growing exponentially. So they say in the next 5 years or so, it'll be about 10 to 1. And after
Yeah.
that, it's going to be so.
Yeah. Nothing on the internet is going to be human driven.
No. Well, some of it will be just going to be lost. It's going to be lost in the crap. And man, I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be in 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, whether or not we're going to be around long enough to see how does this all play out. The AI may be the beginning of the end. I mean, it may well be.
It's funny, and you got to wonder and think about, because my dad hears about all of the data farms and everything. They're building some big ones in Louisiana, and he has no comprehension of what that is.
Right.
And I've tried to explain, but there's no way I can give him that level of understanding of it. What's it going to take for us to feel like that in 30 years when we're his age and saying, I got no clue what the hell you're talking about?
Well, and the thing about the data farms, that's interesting. And hey, good luck, Louisiana, and good luck. I'm a little antsy about that deal that Louisiana has with Meta now, and they're even expanding it.
Yeah, it's going to be the biggest one.
Okay, in Louisiana, because just a couple things. And look, I could be wrong, and let me just say that right off the bat. I could be wrong, but I'm not lying. All right, that's our line. You got to look at the people that are running these things. You would not let Mark Zuckerberg watch your dog if you were leaving town. Forget your kids. I'm not even gonna say that. You wouldn't let the dude from ChatGPT, Sam Altman, you would not let him feed your fish. All right. You would not trust these human beings if they are human beings, because I mean, sometimes right, with anything, but yet we're supposed to buy into what they're doing. Like these, it's all going to be for the greater public good. If we learn anything from all these companies, whether it's Meta, which is Facebook, whether it's Google, which is Alphabet. By the way, you can tell a lot about a company when they have to change their name. Because the stink starts getting on them, so they just call themselves something different. What we found over time is they're just totally, they're about them. It's all about, grow, get richer, get the companies bigger, and, forget you and your privacy, forget you and your intellectual property. So that's, and these data centers, I don't think anybody truly knows what's the long-term impact of these things. Just kind of funny, right? You can't, heaven help you if you want to put a nuclear, right? If you tried to do a nuclear power plant, oh my God, they'll run you out of town on a rail, but then we're just going to just let them drop these data centers.
Some of the stuff that I wonder about too is because it's a technology that is changing at the speed of light. What happens to that big old facility in 5 years from now if that technology becomes obsolete?
Obsolete. No, I don't know. I read something,
Yeah.
Here's what's funny. I get pulled in a lot of my presentations now. They ask me to at least touch on AI. So I'm dangerous. I know enough to be dangerous. I can talk semi educated, semi intellectually on a, at a high level. When you ask me about how this, end of the day, how does it work? No, well, first of all, half the people working in AI don't know how it works, right? They're always surprised and shocked, if you can believe them, because you can't believe them because they all lie. I get it. It's a math program. All it is. There's no thinking going on. It's a very, very sophisticated algorithm. Algorithm might not even be the right way to describe it, but it's just math. Okay, it's all it is, and it becomes very, very good. Like at kissing your butt, telling you what a wonderful job you did with your microwave. But the flip side is
taking pictures inside a microwave.
But the flip side is it's actually helpful. I mean, I do it all the time. I mean, there are things that I realize, wow, I can get information so much faster.
Well, that's the whole thing. I mean, on this thing, I said, all right, give me a link to order this thing with the model number and whatever information I need.
But I don't know if you saw, like, during the week. So the big thing, in fact, I give a speech not tomorrow, on Tuesday. And in there, I kind of joke about, I make my jokes about AI and change and everything. And the big one came out is the big thing with ChatGPT. They're claiming had its program escape. It's supposed to. Oh yeah. So it's supposed to be. They call it a sandbox when it's not supposed to have any access to the internet. All right, it's called a sandbox. And here's what's interesting: like a lot of banks and financial institutions, that's how you need to operate. Right. You got to protect. Well, you coming out of, you've been retired for about a day and a half, but you remember what it was like.
Yeah, I still remember.
You work in the financial services industry. So you need your data. You need that closed off, right? That's one of the things is, hey, you got personal information, and don't get me wrong, whether or not you can argue whether any of us have personal information anymore, because I think there are bad players who have all of our stuff now.
Yeah.
But it's not supposed to be interacting with the internet or giving other people opportunity to access that data, much like our voting systems. Wink, wink. Right? They're not attached to the internet. Well, anyway, in this experiment where something's supposed to be going on, apparently, ChatGPT figured out a loophole and got out of that, got onto the internet, somehow hacked into the program that was being used to judge it, to gauge the effectiveness. Anyway, cheated. So basically, and I'm doing a very bad job of describing exactly what happened, but what happened is not necessarily important as the fact that supposedly, but here's the deal. And here's where, again, they're all lying. They're all lying. You know what? That may have actually happened. But if it happened, the people that gave the prompts, the people that put this experiment in place, they're either the craziest incompetent in the world, or they did it on purpose. They didn't, you don't see like, okay, what did they, and ChatGPT is the biggest bubble there is. It's the best known AI, but the business model doesn't work. It just doesn't work. I mean, it's losing money. You can't, if somebody handed you and I mountains of $100 bills, we couldn't burn it faster than what ChatGPT is destroying money. I mean, it is. Everything is for the magic that's coming in the future. So they put this out there to make it sound like, wow, their programs, their bots, their whatever you want to call them, are so sophisticated they can't even contain them anymore. So it's actually a PR move, right? That AI Claude did this a while back. Oh, Claude, they couldn't release the new thing because it was too powerful, right? It's all a PR push, or not. So best case scenario is they're lying. Worst case scenario is, oh dear God,
They're not.
they're not, right? You figure that out. I'm going to use that line. I'm going to use that line in a couple of days. Best case scenario is they're lying. Worst case scenario is they're not. Then we got, because what happens when it decides to see what it can do with airplanes in the air, or, you know what I'm saying? So, I don't know. Don't want to scare you guys, but that's what we're doing. The other thing too is you see that college professor during the week did a video. Cry me a river, dude. 37 of his 40 or 27 of his 30, I forget what the number was. College students ended up failing a big part of their whatever exam at the end because they were using ChatGPT or using artificial intelligence. And what he did was he put some in the text, in the instructions, online. He put some white text on there, and white on white, you can't see it, but the computers pick it up, right? So if people were just copy and pasting, and then just letting Chat or letting Claude or letting things do the answer, and then not even smart enough to proofread what was put out. That's the thing, y'all, because sometimes it'll put out nonsense. And if you don't know enough to read and realize this is nonsense, or at least have the brains in your head to copy and paste what it gives you and send it to another artificial intelligence program and say, hey, proof this and see if there's any nonsense in here. Because what he did was, in the white text, he put something about use the word Madagascar in a silly way or a useless way, or basically. And so guess what?
He put some useless prompt in there.
So everybody that turned in an answer that had Madagascar in it, it was clear that they, So first of all, cry me a river, college professors, because most of them have been skating. Don't get me wrong, there's some good ones out there, but look, you talk about lazy. Hey, whatever. So that's the world we live in now, right? That's the case. So you need to teach stuff that uses chat. So you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
How can you teach people to think? Well, I don't know. Good luck. That's why they pay you money. Figure that out. Right?
Apparently it's been done before.
You know what I mean? Hey, so those are the tools you have now. And it's just going to make people better at cheating. Yeah. What the heck?
No, there's always a way that, people will work around it. And my daughter was talking about one of her I guess now former teammates is from Turkey, and she didn't make the grades to return to school.
Oh, sad.
And largely because she could barely speak English. I don't think she tried hard either. But so I didn't know that international students, at least at where she goes to school, have to take an English test to get admitted into a college. And somehow or another, she cheated.
Sure.
On the English test, and I don't know. My daughter was somehow charged with making sure that she knew she had to officially resign from the university, or she was going to get a fee bill.
Jeez.
And so she was trying to explain to her, and I don't think the girl was
that's
understanding
sad.
very much
That's
about
sad.
it.
So it's the girl has to go back to Turkey?
She's back in already for the summer. I don't think she really cared.
She a good swimmer?
I don't know.
Here's what I'm going to tell you. If she's one of the best they got, she'll be out blowing the English pretty quick. They'll figure that crap out, because that would tick me off. Hey, listen, let's not even pretend. I'm not even planning on, and I'm not going to get into. Let's talk about NIL and talk about college athletics, but let's not even pretend, y'all. The fact that they make them go to school now pisses me off. Are you kidding me? Why? That should be totally, hey, your daughter wants to get an education. She wants to learn stuff. She's a great student, because her goal is, like, her sport, whatever. She's not going to swim for a living. Okay. So It's a wonderful opportunity to pay for school, get great experience. Who knows? Other things may come from it. But if she's swimming and they're competing and she don't want to go to school, I hope she doesn't listen to the podcast. Screw it. Like all these football players aren't doing it. You know they're not going to class anymore. You got that idiot from LSU, and I don't know. The young man might not be an idiot, but you don't have to be an idiot to do idiotic things. Do you see that that lineman? I don't know if he's an offensive lineman or defensive lineman. He's doing a TikTok video or something, whatever, with his girlfriend dancing in front of him with the $50,000 worth of handbags he just bought for her. Right? Come on.
Did I tell you the price on the local high school guy that we were trying to get at the credit union?
No, you didn't tell me.
Good kid. High school senior this year at a good private high school in town. But one of, if not the highest recruited quarterback in the country, signed with Alabama. He's graduating in December and gonna start school in the spring, so he can start training in the spring. But we were negotiating with him to do 4 social media posts over the course of a year. He couldn't commit for a year because once he's at Alabama, then things kind of change. Their hometown deal was $15,000 for 6 months, which would end up being 2 posts.
Okay.
But this kid, again, high school, he signed with Nike, he signed with EA Sports and everything. So yeah, come just January 1st, that kid's gonna be a gazillionaire.
And
back to your point, the LSU lineman. It's like, why does he care about class?
Right. But my thing is get off of social media showing that stuff. It does nothing but makes me not like you.
Yeah.
And it does nothing but make the people who pay the money not like you. Look, let's not even pretend, okay? College athletics is not college athletics anymore. It's semi-pro, period. And enjoy it while it lasts. Football, whatever. SEC talks about going off on their own. It's NFL rules the roost. That's professional. College they are degrading themselves. It's going to go away. The SEC
is talking about going on their own if the NCAA regulates what they can do with NIL.
Right. So all the crooks, all the criminals, and hey, LSU's at the top of it right now. And hey, more power to them. I hope you guys can win some championships before it all implodes, because it's all going to implode. It just is. And oh, by the way, kids, young men especially, I don't know how much young women, because I don't know how much money gets gambled. You know dang well there's going to be game rigging, score rigging. Not everybody's making the millions of dollars.
Well, you remember not that many years ago, the NFL was all about, against gambling. Now all the gambling apps sponsor all the NFL stuff. All the pregame shows are sponsored by that. They've got on ESPN, they've got it's now part of the NFL network now. They've got the fantasy shows, and that's not so you could, that's not so you and your buddies can do your fantasy league. And so you betting on fantasy.
Correct.
So 100%.
Yeah. So it's whatever. Again, I say it all the time. The beginning of the end. It's people are sick of it. When you can't trust the scores. When you can't, right? At the end of the day, that's what athletics is supposed to be. It's a contest.
Yeah.
Somebody, when you start seeing that when you can't trust, and it's happened before, the NBA has been rigged forever. It's rigged right now.
Well, but here's how, and I've given this example before. You can sit down and say, well, he wouldn't throw the game. Well, let's say it's a quarterback and the spread is 10 points. Sure. And or let's say spread's 20 points. We're up by 14. Yeah, I got enough time. I could easily go down and score a touchdown. You know what? We're gonna not do it here, and then we'll go for 3, and then then the spread will still lose the spread.
No, and they show examples. They've been nailing people left and right, even NBA players. And the thing is, and here's the funny thing: people want to think like, well, these guys are making millions. Surely they wouldn't risk their career. Yeah, they would. They'll risk millions to make thousands, because that's just how folks are wired. right?
Yeah.
And the concept of it's easy money, it's free money. And then the other thing too, but this is as old as time with gambling. Once people get hooked on gambling and they get in the hole, they get more and more desperate, and then you owe people. Now I don't even know how
Right.
it plays
Or
out.
then it's like, all right, just one more, just one more, just one more.
Yeah. Well, speaking of gambling, it's not the same kind of gambling, but those of you that are still following the Deadpool, apparently Mitch McConnell's he's still breathing. Apparently, saw something today. A new
He's
report.
got to go to the 4th, man. He got about, I think, till next Monday.
Yep. His staff came out and said he's good. He's taking briefings, and
Yeah. So is Joe Biden.
Oh man, yeah. Oh, my man Joe, huh? But funny you bring that up. I'm walking through Houston. I was there this weekend. I'd gone with my son to something. It's an old tradition we started years ago, and as long as I'm home, we'll do it. So he had something to do that morning. I'm like, let me go. So I go, and he's crazy early in the morning. He's got stuff, and I like being in a town. Houston's a huge city, but at 6 in the morning, 7 in the morning, it's a ghost town, man. It's a ghost town. I'm walking around the theater district in Houston. It's just me, a couple of cops, and some homeless people. Not lying, and it's like the city.
No, I believe you. I'm more surprised about the cops than I am about the homeless people.
Well, I was walking around City Hall, so like the Hobby Center, the big theater, the biggest theater. You got the Hobby Center, you got Alley Theater, you got those of you that have not been to Houston. Houston has one of the largest theater districts and one of the most well funded, and it's oil money going back forever, and so I know New York is like the tops, but I'm not sure that Houston's not number 2. I mean, Chicago's in there. It's pretty much it's New York, Houston, Chicago, I guess LA. I don't even know the other cities that compete as far as theater.
I read something today. Houston's one of the fastest growing cities. Still.
Yeah, we're full up, guys. Y'all can stop now because we're not getting the best and brightest. I just want to say that. Yeah, we're growing, but let's just say that a lot of our growth have people that have no inclination to be a Texan or to be even an American. All right, wink, wink. Yeah, we got some issues. But anyway, yeah, I'm walking around, and it's crazy, man. It's like, well, like I said, the reason that I did see a couple of cops sitting in their cars because it's cat a corner to City Hall, so they're gonna keep control of
right.
Control of that. But where was I going with that? I was talking about.
I don't know. You're talking about how quiet it is to walk around.
No. And I walked by the Wortham Center, which is another, again, they're like the grand up. It's crazy. There's the Houston thing of dance, huge dance thing. And then there's the opera hall. And then there's the huge theater, a couple of huge theaters. But speaker, guess who's speaking on Tuesday night? An evening with Dr. Jill Biden.
Oh, yeah. Joe might be there.
Man, I had to stop and stare at the sign. An evening with Dr. Jill Biden. I would almost pay my money if there's going to be a true Q&A. True Q&A,
Bring you a sign, make me a sandwich.
Oh, no. I'd be just like, tell me to my face. Right? What? Who's watching Joe right now?
Yeah.
Right now. Do you ever find it funny when you would walk off stage before him or without him that he never could find his way off stage?
Well, it's like, yeah, I'd sit down and say, well, what were you thinking any time that you ever walked off stage before him? You would think that would have been a given.
Yeah, I don't know. If possible, and this is this is not quite the compliment. I respect Joe more than her.
Well,
I think what I'm saying. Look at Joe.
right, he was off. He didn't know he was off.
Even and then now granted he was criminal before, but most of them are. It's all a rolling. There's none of them. I was texting with a buddy of mine, political stuff and how we got on the thing, and I basically said, because he gets annoyed with me because I just am always, my thing is always they're all bought and paid for. I don't care. There's not a dime's worth of difference. That's right. He's more toward one side. He doesn't, I don't think he likes to pretend that the system is how it is. And put it this way, he's one of these guys that's against term limits, right? because the system is set up. We all have term limits. Just vote them out. And I'm like, shut up. That's not how it works anymore. Our system was designed for a moral society. We were supposed to have moral people in a moral society representing their constituents. We haven't had that in forever. Schoolhouse Rock, y'all, was cute. It doesn't exist anymore.
There's the term. I mean, primary can now be a verb, and it's a negative verb in politics, because if somebody in their own party is against one of the incumbents, they say they're going to primary him, which means they'll put some money behind another candidate to get this person, which ticks everybody off, because they want to buy the seats. And you
as it should be, by the way. Everybody ought to be primaried. Everybody, even the people you like. Even the people that you like, everybody needs a primary. That's how we become kings and queens.
Mm-hmm.
You get into these districts where it's always going to be, especially when they're cheating, and they're all cheating. Again, I saw a good video the other day about, again, you have to understand how this works. The big scheme is to register non-legal voters. Not necessarily they even show up and vote. Okay, that's the other thing. People say like, oh, if you show, no. They don't need to show up to vote. Once you have somebody registered, that's a vote they can steal, because they play all the games about, the mail-ins and whatever. That's what they do. Y'all, you've seen it 1,000 times. You've seen it 1,000 times, especially in California, but it happens in Arizona. It happens in Chicago. It happens here in Houston if they need it. Election day has a certain result, but it's going to take a little while until we finish.
Well, and I was listening to something this week, and they said, that would be believable if the votes that come in after election day split even 60-40.
Exactly.
It can't fall one way every single time.
Right.
Yet it falls one way every single time.
Right. So that's my thing. It's like, and that's the argument. Like, nobody, I challenge anybody. Let's argue about whether or not you think our elections are legit or being run.
No, we've got here in Louisiana, we've got Cleo Fields, who's, he was back. You'll still hear people say, "Where's the money, Cleo?" Because he was one of the ones tied up with Edwin, and he was stashing cash for Edwin Edwards back when Edwards got convicted.
Allegedly.
But so, a number of years ago, when Democrats were in control, when they changed the districts in Louisiana, the congressional districts, well, Cleo felt he was being called to serve in Washington. He had been a state representative. So he felt he was
called.
So he was called, sir.
Yeah, man. Look, it's about the people, Juan.
It's all for the people. Oddly, the district that he was called to serve in has now been redistricted again.
Oh.
And there's a vacancy in that spot, so he's now being called back to serve in the state legislature.
I don't want to doubt the man's being called. He's being called.
He's decided not to run for re-election in Congress, but will run for the state house instead.
Where's the money, Cleo?
Yeah, and trust me, I said this 3 weeks ago or whatever, because when that seat became open, I said, Cleo's coming back.
Yeah, boy. I just realized something, because again, some of you watch the video, some of you don't, but I have a tendency, I raise my hands, and I don't want anybody to think that I tried to slice my you know that? Yeah.
I didn't even notice that.
Well, I just realized, so I put that on there. So I was in Louisiana last week. Yeah, last week. And those of you that know, we've got this big oak trees in the front yard, but then we have these huge azalea bushes. And we let them get up there. They're about, 8 feet high, 10, 12 feet across. They're big. But the thing about apparently azalea bushes, what they are great at is having other stuff grow up in them. You get every kind of sapling, every kind of vine. And I was bound and determined, all right. And my son Jesse was there with me, so shout out to him. He was doing the hauling, and I said, you stay away. I mean, keep the gloves on, keep the long sleeves on. I'm going to be the guy that dives in, and I'm pulling vines. And the deal is 90% of the vines are okay. About 10% of them are poison oak. And,
oh, wow.
And I've got on gloves, and I've got on long sleeve shirt. And you know what happens sometimes when you're ripping stuff off? And I mean, I am pulling out.
Sleeve pulled back, yeah.
And just enough. Just like right there. And here, I didn't get one on my left arm because I had my watch on. So whenever I should have worn 2 watches. So whenever, so my watch here protected this wrist. This one ended up with poison oak. So
well, are the vines gone?
They're gone, man. Any of you driving by Audubon and appreciate the
you
lovely
see some freshly manicured azaleas,
Man, the azalea bushes are clear of vines and saplings. But that's what I was doing. Then we left Louisiana a day early to try to get ahead of Tropical Storm Bertha. And we managed to basically catch a feeder band somewhere around Beaumont. Which was pretty bad, but not as bad as just the temperatures on that day. Dude, on Wednesday, as we're driving through around the Lake Charles area, the temperature in Lake Charles was about 100, 101. Yeah, the heat index was 120.
Yeah, it's been rough.
120 degree heat, and it's unbelievable. In fact, my son was in the car with us. He said, in the inside door of the car, the door handle was hot. You know how hot it is outside and it was cool. The car was cool inside, but the door handle was freaking hot and then we got here, we got ahead of Bertha, and then we ended up, we almost got nothing. And then on Thursday night or Friday, we got like 5 inches of rain in about 4 hours.
We didn't get much, Anthony. It was kind of breezy one day.
Yeah. So let's hope they stay like that. That's but also while we were joking about this, I had maybe the hardest laugh I've had I don't remember one. I mean, like I laugh a lot, but there's laughs that just like, I don't know if I lost my breath or I was actually tearing up, but I was laughing hard. We went to something yesterday. A friend of ours used to run a place in Houston. He works somewhere else now. And a place called Houston Social Club. Great little area, and beers and stuff. And they have music bingo every week, right? And it's just basically bingo, and the guy plays music, and so instead of having your numbers, you have the names of songs. So you just and he basically says if you can't get the song, he'll give it to you. But it's just fun, okay? While I'm doing that, I took a picture of the card and the beer, and I think I might have sent you one. Sure. Okay. Anyway, I just, with some friends, just saying like, hey man, it's a way to spend a Saturday with your family playing music bingo, right? And I sent it to one of the groups was my cousins from my cousin group. We did the cousin weekend.
Yeah, just went to New Orleans.
Well, one of them, my man Brian, radio celebrity Brian, he's down in Grand Isle, and he's broadcasting the Grand Isle Tarpon Rodeo. And I remember that growing up.
Big weekend.
Dude, I remember growing up. You'd listen to that on KLEB, man. You'd listen to and they come on every whatever. And it's funny, I wasn't even a fisherman, and man, we were riveted to find out who's in first place in
how big is the fish?
The tarpon. The tarpon's a big one. So I'm texting, and my cousin texts me back and says, hey man, if you're near a radio, hang on. I'm gonna make you third place in one of these categories. And this was early on, right? So they had a lot of categories that didn't have 3. He didn't bump anybody, but and I'm just laughing, saying, dude, I don't have a radio with me, but whatever. I said, I want third place, and I forget what I said. He texted me back. He said, man, you're gonna be third place in Bonita. I'm laughing, just laughing. About 10 minutes later, son of a gun sends me an MP3 file. So y'all, for a brief moment on Saturday,
you on the leaderboard.
I got my name read. Third place.
Bonita, Dave Martin, is in third at 4.5 pounds.
Yeah. And it was funny. They only had 2 Bonitas at the time, and they were big.
Well, work. So you didn't bump anybody off.
No, they were like 14 pounds. No, that's what he did. There's a spare spot. So I think he said I had like a 4-pound Bonita. I forget what it was. Dude, I tell you what, though. That was a highlight, man. I grew up.
You made it to the big time on the bayou, man.
Glued to the radio, listening to the Tarpon Rodeo results. And man, for a brief moment on Saturday I was announced the third place holder in the Bonita category. I texted this morning saying, "Man, I lost sleep last night worrying about my worrying about."
If you were gonna hold on.
He sent me the no, man, I got blown away. So I'll
Well,
in fact, hang on, I'll tell you right now. So congratulations to, I don't know if this is going to hold up. So congratulations to Tyler Thompson. No, my bad. Bonita. Parker Edwards. So Parker with a 14-pound Bonita in third place right now.
Oh man, that smoked you.
Yeah, second place is Todd Peterson with 14.3. So Todd, I would ask, you better, if I'm Parker, I'm challenging that. And then apparently Chris Dickerson, 15.5. He's just got a monster.
Chris got the big one.
But for a brief moment, Juan, I was the bronze.
I think the last time I went to Grand Isle was Tarpon Rodeo weekend.
Bet you didn't have as much fun as Bob Breck's having.
No, I didn't know. It was many, many years ago. And I had just started working at Raising Cane's. And a girl who worked there was from Grand Isle. And so her family was having a crab boil at her parents' house. So we went down there for that. And apparently none of us really knew, but her mom had a drinking problem. And after we all ate crab, like under the house, the screen porch under the house, we went in. And at some point her mom walks out, nude.
Yeah.
And, I'd have quit the job if I was that girl, but apparently she liked working there too much because I would have never lived out that embarrassment.
Okay, I just want to do a shout out to alcoholics and drunks everywhere. That's not normal behavior, by the way.
No,
I know a lot of people with drinking problems. They don't just pop up nude. That's something else.
Not in front of your kids' friends.
That's something else. That's something and if there were events like the Tarpon Rodeo, if they had one of those things a month, the property values in Grand Isle would be 5 to 10 times what they are right now. Because one weekend out of the year, man, Grand Isle is the place to be.
But they say now, they say to rent a camp in Grand Isle for a week is about the same it would cost you to rent a condo on the beach in Florida.
Well, okay, but there are a lot more condos in Florida, though. You know what I'm saying? It's sort of like supply and demand.
Supply and demand, I guess.
But I wasn't kidding when I was saying, I bet you're not having as good a time as Bob Breck's having, because Bob Breck, I guess from the relief that Tropical Storm Bertha did not mess things up, he posts something on Facebook, and I guess I watched enough of Bob's weather stuff that I'm getting every now and then I get his stuff, and Bob's got a picture of himself, like a selfie. And I guess it's supposed to be water in the back, but obviously not wearing a shirt. Now, thankfully, Bob kept it above the nipples, so we don't have to. We're not having to stare at Bob's bare chest, but a little bit of it reminds me of the random ugly old dudes in my gym.
At your gym, man, old male nudity follows you wherever you go.
Now, I'm going to assume that Bob was wearing pants. What I'm saying, I'm assuming it wasn't like your friend's mom.
Yeah.
As they said, got tout nu, right? No. I'm sure. I don't think Bob was tout nu. He was just tout nu above the waist. But enjoy yourself.
Speaking of old dudes who I would assume probably takes off his shirt far too often, David Lee Roth canceled the rest of his tour. Did you see that?
I did see that. I also saw that Sammy Hagar had a very touching, I say touching, it's as touching as an old guy.
But two guys who had a lot of beef. Probably more directed by David. Than
No. David Lee Roth is a psychopath. He is a talented. I will fight this forever. He is one of the top 10, if not one of the top 5 leading frontmen ever. No, in his prime, there was no more charismatic rock god than David Lee Roth. He was the guy, and he's super, super smart guy. But I think he eventually went crazy. I think he's one of these guys that apparently can never accept, okay, bro, that's not you no more. I mean, that's just not, it comes and goes, man. I'll give Billy Joel credit. Billy Joel had an interview the other day, and he basically said, he said, hey, when you become super successful, you stop making music because you don't want to degrade what you did before, your legacy. In other words, you were fortunate enough to put a body of work out there that is going to stand the test of time and everybody loves. Anything you do now, that said, though, he did release a song, oh, darn it. Remember about 2 years ago, he put out
it was a good song.
Good song. So to his credit. But no, David Lee canceled for whatever reason. And Sammy did a little video pretty much a selfie thing. He's drinking a margarita or whatever he was drinking.
Yeah, Sammy does some Vegas shows or whatever. Wherever
Yeah, because he has a
shows, he'll
residency.
do
That's
some-
what he invited David Lee. Said,
Right,
hey,
said,
come
come
on out.
on, you know, because Sammy plays some Van Halen tunes and
Oh no, that's everybody goes for that. And he's got Michael Anthony because that
Yeah.
I got news for you guys. Van Halen exists. It's still out there. It's just called Sammy Hagar and Friends, whatever, because you got Sammy Hagar
Yeah.
and Michael Anthony, who is the voice.
yeah.
Oh, you get me wound up. We're an hour into the podcast. It's time to get out of here. But Michael Anthony is every bit the voice of Van Halen as David Lee Roth or Sammy was, because he's always been the harmonies. He's always
He's got
been
the harmony. He's got some high. He can hit some highs.
Correct.
But David Lee, I mean, he just looks like he's got, I don't know, like his face is plastic, and he's not even the clips I've seen, albeit just clips. It doesn't even look like he's singing much of anything.
My son Jesse put it best. He compared him to, it's sort of like what's happening with Frankie Valli. Have you ever seen?
Yeah.
Right, they still roll Frankie Valli out. Oh my gosh, Frankie Valli makes Joe Biden look young. Like Joe Biden is popping compared to poor Frankie, but they wheel Frankie out there, and
Feeding the machine.
obvious lip sync. Yeah, so people know Sammy invited him out there. My only shout out, and I love Sammy Hagar. I think he's super smart. The only thing I would recommend to Sammy is work on the angles of the camera when he's doing stuff, because we're humans. I'm the same way. You're the same way. Here's something you may not know, guys, and I don't want to depress you, but as you get older, most of your body shrinks. You know what doesn't shrink? What continues to grow? Your ears and your nose continue to grow. It just does. Well,
Forever.
so my man Sammy is, you know, and you're talking to a guy, I got I don't have a small nose, okay? Sammy got a big nose, and it's getting bigger all the time. So it's like, Sammy, back up, get a better angle, man. It's it's sort of like the nose featuring Sammy Hagar now. You know what I mean?
Pay attention.
But that was not as scary as Bob Breck shirtless, but there you go.
Yeah.
But although I can't wait. See, you talk about ratings. Next time there's a system in the Gulf, Bob needs to be out there doing his videos shirtless.
Hello.
Shirtless. But keep the pants on, man. All right. Hey, you know what? The buffet is before them. We hope you enjoyed the first Juan is Retired
That's right.
episode of the Dave and One More Time podcast. But we are going to push the button right now. Get on out of here. See if any of the stuff stuck to the magic tape up in the sky. If you want to reach us, you know how to do it, man. It's Dave and Juan at protonmail.com. And
right here, wherever here may happen to be.
like, follow, share.
Wherever finer podcast are found.
That's what we do every week. We tell you it's not a hint, suggestion, or any kind of implication. Y'all, it is a freaking
No, it's a freaking mandate, bro.
Live your best life. Live your best life. You having a great day? Have another one. Having a bad day? Hey, man. Take off
easier
your
to
shirt
do
like
better
Bob.
one tomorrow.
That's right. Pretend you're Bob Breck on Grand Down for the Tarpon Rodeo. Rip that shirt off.
Just keep your camera to yourself.
Or share that with your friends. But you know how to do it. All right, we are going to get on out of here. I believe we're back on schedule. I do think. So we should have another one of these next week. I don't think I'm traveling. I think I'm home.
I'm going to Cancun, but I'll be back
When you leaving?
Tuesday, coming back Saturday.
All right, quickie. All right. So Juan will be back a little more tanned, celebrating his retirement and all that
Right.
stuff.
I'll do a lot of standing in the pool, but with a drink in my hand.
There you go. Nice way to do it. Can't wait for the stories. Everybody, y'all be good out there. Be safe. Love you, bro.
Back at you, dude. So last weekend, Riley had a swim meet at LSU, and it's with her club that she swims with year round. And you know, I learned the hard way, because when she was in high school and you'd have college kids swimming during the summer, I'd get annoyed.
Right.
Why these college kids swimming against high school kids? Well, I found out, they have to swim.
They have to, right.
But what she'll do is she'll swim in the prelims and then scratch for the finals. So she gets her mandated swims in. But as a lot of people do, and I do sometimes, people will bring, it was at LSU, which is the most annoying place to go because it's hot, it's uncomfortable. And we'll bring stadium seats sometimes if we're there for a long time. These would just pop in and out, and so I don't. But the people in the front of me have some. Now, when I bring stadium seats, I'm very conscious of making sure that I pull the seat up as far to the front as I can.
Right.
And I sit fairly straight. Well, this dude in the front of me, decides he's all but going to recline in this seat. that's got it all the way, and he's already all the way back. I mean, straight up, I barely got room for my legs. And yeah, I'm trying to be better, Dave, but
Don't try too hard.
I can't always do it. So at one point, I said, "Screw this." Yeah, I got titanium in this knee, buddy. So I put my knees in the front of me, thinking he's gonna recline. And sure enough, bam. And he drills his back on my knee. And then he's looking around. And he's moving the seat. And I'm trying to move my legs. I said, it don't much matter, man. There's not really a lot of room back here for that. And he says, well, I'm trying to move my seat where it won't hit you and where your knee won't jam me in the back.
Oh, yeah, it's your problem.
And I said, well, I'm as far back. I said, my butt's hanging off the back of the bleachers. And this is as far back as I can go. So all I can tell you is don't recline. And he says, well, there's plenty of open seats, which there wasn't. But so I said, but I'm in this seat. And so, and he didn't say anything. And I'm like, and Joey's like, move. And I was like, screw that.
No, at this point, it's personal. Yes.
I'm here for the duration. And then I found out his kid was swimming in the same event as my daughter.
Oh.
Just in an earlier heat.
Oh.
And so I said, all right. I never cheer, Dave. I don't cheer. I'm not the yelling kind.
Right.
I yelled so much that I almost got like a warning because I was yelling right when they were about to start. And dude, I yell the whole time. I mean, she's a good 10 seconds ahead. And I'm yelling, pick it up, finish strong.
Embarrass this guy. Embarrass this guy's progeny.
Yeah, so yeah, take your knee right there, buddy. And I'm sitting down, and I'm like a child because it's like, all right, I'm on a row higher than him, which gives me the advantage in a punch.
Oh yeah, and it's like Star Wars. I have the higher ground. You've lost already. Right. You don't even know it.
It's over. Go home.